But you're exactly right, Mick. He needs to jump consistently and accurately to win a big chase like this. You cannot afford to make blunders at this level.
It's all about rhythm round here at Warwick, and he needs to get into a good one. If he does, this horse, like you say, he's very well treated. Major Malarkey is another one. We've already seen Nigel Twiston-Davis. He's been off the mark here with a new one. He'll be hoping this horse can run well. He likes it round Warwick.
Feet tends to press the pace. It's going to be a true test of jumping and stamina, especially on those 5 fences down the far side. Over to Richard.
So this is the feature race of the day. The Betfred Classic Chase Field leaves a 3-mile and 5 furlong start, and Pete the Feet goes straight to the front, as was his modus operandi with winning at Newbury. Godsmejudge and Ben Eyre ensures that he doesn't have it all his own way on the first, although Ben Eyre picked badly, and Restless Harry made a significant mistake at the back. Restless Harry's rider either jumped into the back of the horse in front, but it was a cumbersome error by Restless Harry as the leaders take the next. So over in front, Pete the Feet and Godsmejudge cut out the early running. From in third place, Quintin Collonge, Ben Eyre, RIgadin de Beauchene and Universal Soldier. They are the front sextet. Racing in 7th place now is Restless Harry, who's moving up through the field after that first fence alarm. Bradley comes next, just ahead of Aurora's Encore, then Major Malarkey, and the back few, Flying Award, Sea Saffron, and towards the outside, Well Forth. So it's Godsmejudge who's gone on the run towards the third, leading from Pete the Feet and Universal Soldier. It's a little wider, as Godsmejudge jumps that really well. Ben Eyre again for the second time in only 3 fences. Wasn't that fluent. The rear of the field, there was a slight error by Sea Saffron as well. So racing towards the fourth, which is the first of the open ditches, and Godsmejudge jumping really well, which can't be said for a large majority of the field. Well Forth, the latest to make a mistake, and that's at least 4 or 5 horses who've made significant blunders early on. Godsmejudge racing with Elan out in front has this very long run before they meet the first fence down the back, number 5, and will continue to cut out the running. Universal Soldier in second. Pete the Feet is in third place. In fourth we have RIgadin de Beauchene with Restless Harry, who's made ground right on the outside of the field to move through to dispute third, and that line of 4 horses completed by Ben Eyre. Quintin Collonge, after that error, Well Forth, has dropped off the back end by about 4 or 5 lengths. Also held up towards the rear early on, Flying Award with Sea Saffron and Major Malarkey, who's under restraint and racing a little keen in the yellow jacket just towards the right and back end of the screen as they make their journey downhill. So Godsmejudge it is who leads. From Pete the Feet, who's keen, possibly anticipating that he was going to lead. He's got something to chase early on in Godsmejudge with Universal Soldier. Pete the Feet in third. In fourth place, RIgadin de Beauchene from Restless Harry. Ben Eyre is in 6th place with Quintin Collonge, Aurora's Encore and Bradley with Major Malarkey. And Well Forth is really struggling at the back of the field after that error at the 4th. He's a good 8 to 10 lengths behind the others. Godsmejudge towards the first down the back with Universal Soldier on the outside and Pete the Feet on the inner. The first of these line of 5 fences. Universal Soldier didn't carry much momentum into the fence, and he's rousted along as they head towards another open ditch. Godsmejudge out in front, jumping well. Pete the Feet in second. Again, Universal Soldier. And at the back of the field, Well Forth has been pulled up. Well Forth is already out the race, never recovered from that error at the 4th. And Universal Soldier is just showing what happens if your jumping goes to pieces down these 5 quick-fire fences. He was disputing the lead going into them. He's strongly ridden in midfield as they race towards the penultimate one. Godsmejudge and Pete the Feet have met them all accurately. They lead from RIgadin de Beauchene. Restless Harry's held his place perfectly okay towards the outside as they take the next fence. A Universal Soldier getting in the way a bit of Major Malarkey. Up the inside goes Quintin Collonge as they all jostle for positions in midfield. But it's Godsmejudge who leads the turn with a circuit under their belts. The only one out of the race, Well Forth, who was pulled up before fence number 7. Godsmejudge from Pete the Feet in second. Restless Harry in third place. RIgadin de Beauchene is in 4th. In 5th place, Aurora's Encore has made progress, the blue and yellow colours. Universal Soldier is ridden along. Major Malarkey, Bradley, no move yet in the yellow cap with Ben Eyre. Then Flying Award and Sea Saffron is still towards the rear of the field. So Godsmejudge continuing to jump well out in front from Pete the Feet. Godsmejudge is over from Pete the Feet in second place. Bradley just jumped slightly out to the right in midfield, and as they make their way up past us with a circuit to travel, it is Godsmejudge and Pete the Feet who are cutting out the running. Godsmejudge for Alan King, who's got a really good record in this race. Pete the Feet in second, RIgadin de Beauchene is in third. Restless Harry in fourth with Aurora's Encore. Then behind these, Quinton Collonges is towards the inside, the grey. Universal Soldier still pushed along and struggling to hold the position. Bradley round the outside with Sea Saffron towards Ben Eyre is right at the back of the field as they race towards this couple of fences before we get this long run before the next. So it's Godsmejudge who leads over it. Restless Harry just jostled along towards the outside there as the principals begin to work towards the front. So this is the open ditch that will mark the end of jumping on this part of the course. Godsmejudge, great elan in his jumping. Another good lead. Ben Eyre, by contrast, has clattered his way round. And, well, we've still got a long way to go, Mick, but out in front, you were talking about rhythm. Godsmejudge has got into a perfect one. Pete the Feet, and used to leading, but he's still travelling okay in second, and those two have got some of the others at it.
Yeah, Noel Feely's arms are going to be a little bit longer by the time he gets back in, because this Pete the Feet's been dragging him all the way around here. RIgadin de Beauchene is another horse that seems to have found a nice rhythm. Restless Harry, on the other hand, it's all a bit stop-start for me. Henry Oliver, he's desperate to just try and get him on a nice, even keel. If he does that, he's got a chance.
The start shouldn't be important in a 3 mile 5 chase. It was for Restless Harry. He didn't get a good break, and now he's having to work hard on the outside. Pete the Feet is going really well, but he's using up plenty of energy early in a very strong stamina test here, Richard.
They're bunching up. Ben Eyre is the one that's lost touch in the last half mile or so. Restless Harry having to work hard. I think a stop-start's a great way of describing it, Mick. He just doesn't carry much momentum away from his fences at times. Unlike Godsmejudge and Pete the Feet, who still head the field with RIgadin de Beauchene. Aurora's Encore in fourth. Good progress has been made by Flying Award in the red and white colours. By contrast, Bradley's hard at work. Quinton Collonges towards the inside. Restless Harry is beginning to lose his position. So now Pete the Feet, moving forward to the position to which he's accustomed, has come down to join with, on the outside, Godsmejudge. In third, RIgadin de Beauchene, then Aurora's Encore. In fifth place is Flying Award, and they're breaking away now from Quinton Collonges. Pete the Feet moves through the lead with Godsmejudge, RIgadin de Beauchene. Strongly ridden Flying Award. Bradley's been pulled up at the back of the field. Bradley pulled up as out in front Pete the Feet leads, in company still with Godsmejudge, and right there RIgadin de Beauchene, and these three have got a good advantage now over the others. Godsmejudge, Pete the Feet, RIgadin de Beauchene. Three of them separated by less than a length, with 12 lengths back to Flying Award. Last on the far side, three of them all throw their horses at the fence, but Pete the Feet still travelling strongly. Godsmejudge pushed along RIgadin de Beauchene, and now they began to turn back towards home. Godsmejudge on the outside of Pete the Feet. In third is RIgadin de Beauchene, and they remain a long way clear. Godsmejudge, Pete the Feet for the first time just pushed along on the inside as they fan out towards the second last. Pete the Feet on the right, Godsmejudge on the left. RIgadin de Beauchene is 3 lengths down. Godsmejudge reasserts 2 from home. Pete the Feet having to dig in. RIgadin de Beauchene 4 lengths away, trying to rally. Godsmejudge, Pete the Feet, RIgadin de Beauchene can't be discounted either. At the last, Godsmejudge over from in second. Pete the Feet, RIgadin de Beauchene, a crucial mistake as he was trying to challenge. Pete the Feet up the inside. At the centre, Godsmejudge, RIgadin de Beauchene is digging in, regathering that momentum. Godsmejudge has seen off Pete the Feet, but RIgadin de Beauchene on the near side is running him down, and RIgadin de Beauchene is going to get up and nick the Betfred Classic Chase on the line. RIgadin de Beauchene saw off Godsmejudge and Pete the Feet in a terrific three-way battle. Back in fourth place, Flying Award, then Aurora's Encore. Behind these, Quinton Collonges and Major Malarkey. He nearly fluffed it at the last, but RIgadin de Beauchene provides a big winner for Robbie Dunn.
Everything that is great about a staying steeplechase and everything that is great about National Hunt Racing embodied in the Betfred Classic. It has gone the way of RIgadin de Beauchene for Venetia Williams, and Robbie Dunn took off out of Robbie Dunn's hands throughout, but the horse stayed on his feet and he rallied gamely to the cause. Little Pete the Feet to the inside has run a tremendous race in a bid for the 6-timer. He and Godsmejudge went hammer and tongs throughout, but in the end, Mick and Graham, they both had to give best in what was truly a spellbinding race and real jockeyship at the end of 3 miles 5.
There was, but this is a brave run from Pete the Feet. You know, this horse he's been clobbered by the handicap for some good wins, but Robbie Dunn, he did didn't panic. He got squeezed out there after the third last, but he's just kept niggling away. He hasn't gone for everything. He knows he's still got a way to go. These horses are almost running on memory here when they get down over this last fence, and this horse is very brave.
Crucial moment here, Graham, as Pete the Feet is squeezed quite badly by Godsmejudge Red Sleeves.
Yeah, Godsmejudge drifts away from the whip, and there you see, crucial moment for Pete the Feet. He wasn't an unlucky loser, I don't think, because at this point, RIgadin de Beauchene is in full sail, and he goes on by on the outside. It was a knockdown, drag-out fight from